Hey YouTube, what's going on? Oh god, I sound like CJ. I don't mean to bite off you or anything like that, CJ. So I haven't made a video in a while, and I guess there's really no excuse for that, but I'm gonna give you one anyway. You know, work and school, blah blah blah. Also, I have been training to compete in a bodybuilding competition. Not bodybuilding for me. I would be competing in a bikini division. So, and as of Saturday, I will be 2 weeks out from that competition. So, wish me luck. Anyway, on this past Sunday's episode of Sunday Night Sinners and Saints, YouTube user Heavy Traffic Ahead, also known as C Beach, was one of the guest invites on that show, and it ended up getting into a rather heated exchange with YouTuber Rational Roundtable on the subject of race. More specifically, if race, or much more correctly, ethnicity of President Obama has had anything to do with the state of the GOP and a good portion of their actions since he was elected the first time. Before the exchange became more passionate, though, Oregon Atheist, who was another guest on the show that night, he expressed his view that a lot of the BS the GOP has pulled, or I guess the reaction of most in the GOP has been a result of Obama being black, basically. And Beach expanded more on his train of thought, during which Losoyo commented that he and Rational Roundtable were the only conservatives on the show, and they didn't bring up the subject of race, as if that's a significant point to make. Rational Roundtable would later go on to say that liberals are obsessed with race. I'm thinking that that was sort of a segue or what have you into saying that everyone only associates racism with conservatives and with the Republican Party, which is something I don't think either Beach or Oregon Atheist even said or inferred in the conversation, nor did anyone deny that there's racism on the left. So watching that entire exchange and hearing Losoyo and Rational Roundtable's reactions, hearing their responses, it really didn't sit too well with me, so I left a comment in the comment section for the show. I told him that I told Losoyo that Beach didn't call him or Michael racist at the beginning. That he was pretty much just following where Oregon Atheist was going with the dialogue. So I'm not sure what point is in stating something like, oh, see, the two conservatives in the room didn't bring up race. Conservative pundits on news shows say that a lot, and it's nothing more than empty filler. Nor does it mean that a person doesn't have any internal racial bias whatsoever. And that's not an accusation of his character or Michael's character. I was just stating how useless making that sort of statement is. I also said that stating the left is always bringing up racism and whatnot is another pundit tactic. You know, bringing up, ism is the new ism. So, oh my God, you're always talking about race, therefore you're racist. And it's pretty circular thinking. It's a very circular argument, and I kind of expected better. I'm paraphrasing my comments, by the way, sorry. Later, Losoyo would reply to me in the comments, and he said this: I hate that you were let down by the response. I do value your opinion greatly. However, in this video, it is clearly inferred that a lot of it is done by racism. Again, the ones that brought up race were the liberals. Oregon Atheists started out with it. When I stated we weren't, Beach said something to the effect, well, you can't outrightly say it. it's in the actual video. Unfortunately, I also do hear it a lot for simply just disagreeing with policy. Okay, so let's tackle this little by little. I'm gonna go back to this comment where he says, the part where he's saying, you know, again, the ones that brought up race were the liberals. And, you know, what I want to know is, what are you trying to infer with making a statement like that? That liberals are obsessed with race, like Michael said. So do you agree with that statement? And again, like, that type of statement doesn't really make any sort of point. And it's nothing more than the circular bringing up race is the new racism bullshit that's just become a trend in conservative, you know, I'm not going to say with conservative politics, but, you know, it's very Fox News, as Oregon Atheists would put it. You know, listening to the conversation, no black person or any person of color was being denigrated or, you know, degraded or spoke of in an ill manner, you know, because of their ethnicity. So that really doesn't hold water, you know. And again, making a statement like that, making that type of statement like, oh, well, we're the conservatives, we're the only conservatives here, and see, we didn't bring up race. It's really not saying anything, like I said. And again, a person making this statement, it doesn't mean that they are devoid of any sort of internal bias whatsoever. And once again, that's not an accusation on your character or of Michael. I like the both of you guys, but if there are statements being made that are just completely devoid of nuance, I'm going to address them. Now, as I was scripting this reply, I was watching the video over again. And yes, Oregon Atheist did say that he believed, or that he thought, that most people's problems with Obama are due to his ethnicity. He didn't make like a broad generalization of it. He used the modifier, which is most. And he didn't cast a specific accusation of you or Michael being racist. Okay, so basically he didn't call you or Mike racist, and neither did Beach. So I don't know. I think you kind of took their statements a bit too close to the chest. When Beach said you can't come out and say it outright, I'm thinking, or when I think it was it Oregon Atheist? Oregon Atheist said that. It was a general you. It wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. Also, when you made your statement about you and Rational Roundtable being the only conservatives on the panel, yet neither of you brought up race, I believe that was the part where you guys were comparing the types of criticisms that Obama gets and has gotten, you know, specifically that part where the serviceman was holding the umbrella for him, and versus the types of criticism that George W. Bush had gotten while he was president, which, you know, I don't know, like, claims from what I've seen, and this is anecdotal, so I guess it might not matter as much, but from what I've seen, it wasn't as much about Bush being white versus some of his practices that had bad repercussions for people of color. More specifically, the main thing I can think of that Bush got a lot of heat from people of color was Hurricane Katrina and how FEMA fucked that up. So comparing that shit to people in Congress screaming, you know, you lied during a speech, and Obama basically having to show his freedom papers, I'm not exactly sure where you were going with those statements, so maybe you can clarify that for me. And also, Beach didn't say, nor did he imply or infer that you and Michael are racist. After you made your comment about not bringing up race, he said that you didn't want to bring up Obama's ethnicity. because you know that it's become a part of the political calculus of the GOP in general since Obama took office. And then he asked Rational Roundtable if he agreed with it or not. Now, from my observation, from what I'm thinking is, when he said that to you, it wasn't an accusation of you. It wasn't calling you or Michael racist. It was more of an accusation of either willful ignorance or a denial about the actions of the Conservative Party as a whole and what those actions mean, which in a way I could kind of agree with that. I could see where he's going with that, because a lot of Republicans do that. Like Michael Still's pretty much done that. So and that's not the same thing as calling you a racist or inferring that you're racist. Beach even tried to clarify what he was saying while he was arguing with you, and well, mostly arguing with Michael with Rational Roundtable. But the both of you didn't want to hear it because you assumed that he was calling you guys racist when he was really just criticizing what you were saying and your actions. So and that was pretty much it. And, this type of shit seems to happen a lot whenever a discussion regarding race comes up. People just become so defensive when your actions or your words are judged to be problematic, because they don't hear what you did or said was racist, or what you did or said was problematic. People only hear you are racist. That's pretty much what people hear whenever discussions like this pop up. Someone does something that was problematic to the point of being racist, and they don't hear that. They don't hear what you did was racist or what you said was racist. All they hear is you're a racist. And they just become so defensive and close up, and they don't want to hear anything else. Even when, most times the criticism that they're getting for what they said or what they did is accurate. And that is what you and Rational Roundtable did. And that is why I was very disappointed in the responses from the both of you. And while I do agree that there are some people who are quick to assume that conservative or Republican means racist, or will accuse a conservative of being racist quick, that person is no better than a fundamentalist theist who casts everyone who doesn't adhere to their dogmatic views as bad or evil. And also, just because there are a minority of people who do that, that doesn't mean you dismiss discussions regarding race or ethnicity altogether. That's intellectual laziness in my view. So that's pretty much all for now. I might touch on the welfare stuff that was discussed, because that's another subject that's kind of close to my heart. So I'll need some time to gather my thoughts on that topic. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on the show. You want to hit me up in the comment sections, we can do that. You can make a video response to me, or I guess keep it to the comment section or whatever. But anyway, that's the gist of it. Ciao.